Big moves for Blue. Nationals pulled ahead of Labour in the latest One News Kantar poll for the first time in 2 years. The opposition party is up 7% to sit on 39. Labour slipped 3% to 37. Christopher Luxon has also gained 8% in the preferred Prime Minister ranking and is at 25. Jacinda Ardern is down 1 to 34. Newstalk ZB Chief Political Reporter Jason Wall says the appetite for Luxon is big.
It's basically just the man at the top that they're responding to, and when National comes out with some policy, it'll be interesting to see how voters react to that.
COVID-19 experts fear officials are flying blind without better data. It's likely New Zealand's more than 20,000 new daily community cases are just a fraction of the true size of the outbreak. Experts want to see an infection prevalence survey where weekly COVID tests are sent out to a sample of people to get a better picture of what's happening. COVID modelling Aotearoa's Dr. Dion O'Neill says we currently rely a lot on people getting tested and recording the result.
We're sort of in this situation where we know what the number of confirmed cases are, but we have much less information than we've had in the past about how those relate back to the true number of infections that are out there in the community.
Russia's war in Ukraine has entered a third week with none of its stated objectives reached. That's despite thousands killed, more than 2 million made refugees, and thousands cowering in besieged cities under relentless bombardment. Ukraine's Foreign Minister, Dmytro Kuleba, has met with Russia's Sergei Lavrov in Turkey, but Kuleba says he secured no promise around the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people trapped in the besieged port of Mariupol. Holding his own simultaneous news conference in a separate room, Lavrov showed no sign of making any concessions, and he repeated Russian demands that Ukraine be disarmed and accept neutral status. And the government is being urged to move faster to help Ukrainians. 11 NGOs have signed an open letter calling for immediate and close family members of Ukrainian citizens to be let into the country. They're also asking for the refugee quota to increase by 2,500 and for financial aid to increase from $2 to $20 million. Mahi for Ukraine humanitarian spokeswoman and New Zealand Ukrainian Kate Turska says they worry about their families every day.
They are being killed and bombed and they're hiding in basements. They're fearing for their life. We are fearing for their life. So the urgency is absolutely there for us.
Doubt from one media commentator that the TVNZ-RNZ merger will be executed as planned. The government expects the new public broadcaster to be up and running by July next year. An establishment board will be appointed to oversee the transition. Former TVNZ head of news, Bill Ralston, isn't convinced the timeframe is achievable, and he says they have no detail, yet want it up and running by July next year. Job ad numbers across New Zealand remain at record highs. SEEK's latest employment report shows ads on its website last month were 40% higher than February last year. Country Manager Rob Clark says most sectors saw ad growth except for hospitality and tourism.
They fell 13% when we compare February versus January. So we're hoping that, as we get through Omicron, we might see, that particular sector rebound.
Clark says applications per ad fell by 9% overall from January, with people reluctant to apply.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald. Click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.